What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Angel's Place. So tonight, well, rather today, we're going to be talking about how Cuz got to get this work, and we're talking about Lamark Moore, the famous booty bandit that always has my name in his mouth. So we're going to address some of the issues here. So while I wait for some people to join me, I'm going to go ahead and play this documentary for you. Hold on.
Down for the new millennium, baby. Y'all better tell them boys in there who I am, man. You know me.
There are 2 million Americans behind bars. 1 in 5 will be sexually assaulted while incarcerated. The victims tend to be newcomers, nonviolent drug users who have doubled the prison population over the past 10 years. In prison, if you're turned out, you've been sodomized, tossed to the vultures, marked as a punk, forced into enslavement, or made a prison wife. You can be turned out through brute force, or they get you with threats and their con game. In the South, roughly 5% of the prison population. Mindy started as a prison boy.
The game is in the penitentiary. A set of rules dealing with homosexual to and you got your man.
And the penitentiary daddy,
Mark Moore, right here.
the reigning, the boys, punk runners.
Now, you know, me, I've had knife pull on me. I've been told that I don't need, you know, see TV, murdered and lying on penitentiary.
Limestone, largest lock in the nation's poorest prison system.
The thing as pleasures in prison. Sure, I might be able to eat me a hamburger once a week if I know the right people, but that's nothing. That's nothing compared to sleeping up under air conditioning. That's nothing compared to watching the NBA Finals on the widescreen TV. This is a world within a world. You got everything under the sun here. You got homosexuality, run rampant. You got gambling. You got gangs. You got everything.
See, now is my name. Different holding my game. A place got over Alabama is the state that I claim. Where the niggas back here.
Junk food and toiletries from the commissary serve as legal tender in prison. Cash money is illegal, and any item not purchased from the prison store is contraband. So bags of instant coffee and candy are the money in the underground economy. The old rules that govern exactly how business is transacted in the penitentiary are as precise as NASDAQ.
The hustling part is because people don't have any money. This is how game works. I ain't got no means of money. I got a box full of candy back there. Cookies, Zuzus, and Wham Whams is what they call it. I'm going to loan it to another inmate. I'll let you get a pack of cookies for 2 packs back next week. If a man borrows too much stuff, it gets too far in debt, either you fight for it and let him know, I'm not going to pay you, so me and you just going to have to whoop each other's ass and we're going to go to lockup, or we're going to go back here and fuck, just ever how you want to do it. That's the way it works. He might have borrowed 10 suits and ended up fucking out his ass the rest of his life while he's here on account of 10 suits. Got him that way. Because 10 suits, if you can't pay it this week, it's going to cost you 20 suits next week. And the week after that, it's going to be 40 suits. So sooner or later, the man's going to step to you and tell you, hey, I'm tired of your shit.
Mindy was preyed upon by convicts who used the boo game. The boo game consists of terror tactics and loan sharking to turn a guy out.
One of the first things they're going to throw up is the stuff they've given you. You know, you owe them for that. And then they kind of put the boo down with it, the boo game. And to where you owe them that plus interest, you know. They try to get you in a bind.
Race, gang membership, smarts, black market profits all determine who's on top. Mark Moore serving 20 for a gang shooting.
Lamark Moore right here.
Limestone Correctional. Mark would be.
This is Lamark Moore. For anybody who doesn't remember, this is Lamark Moore.
Become Mindy's man.
Mindy, that's his nickname. I gave him that nickname all. He was my baby. I was comfortable with him. In prison, your boys or your sisters, that's like your wife or your woman on the street. On the streets, bring money or get you whatever. In prison, the more coffee you have, the more cigarettes and bullshit you have, it gets you what you want.
Gorilla Records is in full of busy. It's going down for the new millennium, baby. Y'all better tell them boys in there who I am, man. You know me, you know.
Mark was notorious. He thrived in Limestone.
Mark thrived in Limestone. This is Mark walking with his girlfriend right there in Limestone prison.
On the Wild West atmosphere.
Back in the day, getting drunk and shit, fighting niggas to let them know I wasn't no punk and shit. You know, I put the stove on niggas, I load on niggas, cat is a jaguar.
Mark right there making up the bed for him and his girlfriend.
Getting drove on niggas, you know me. I got more candy on my ride and Reese's Pieces. Iceberg with creases, the mess of ice on mess of ice on know. I told this freak I got a buffet at my suite. She said, for real, I say I promise all the meat you can eat, you know me. My enemies, my family gonna get fed. Bread and water ain't enough, we want some.
Mark right there with his hands on the hips of his girlfriend and his body pressed against him, getting ready to enter the bunk.
Back in the day, you know, I put a hit out of my friend by my ears. If it come back reincarnated, I'm gonna kill him again, you know.
As far as me being
Getting comfortable.
ashamed or having a complex about it, I don't.
Pulling his pants off inside the bunk with another man.
Because I'm a strong believer if you got to be ashamed of something that you do, you shouldn't do it.
This society away from society.
At Drive Time, we make it easy to buy.
Get approved on your phone, shop for cars on your phone, customize your terms on your phone. I made the deal I want on the car I want.
And the deal you make on your phone is a deal you pay at the real Drive Time dealership.
Awesome! Is that a portal?
It's more of a metaphor for the seamless process between the deal on your phone and the real Drive Time dealership.
I'm gonna go buy that car.
Get in there!
Wow! It's the same deal I made on my phone. It's the same deal!
This is a commercial. Go get your real deal at drivetime.com.
What a hotel. Right? And only $250 a night for my favorite
You
snack.
gotta be patient. It's a whole movie we're watching.
You didn't check Trivago.
I got mine for $155. You have to check Trivago.
Oh yeah? Prove it.
On Trivago, you can compare hotel prices from multiple different sites.
Even your favorite one.
Look, hotel, $100 less.
You didn't check Trivago.
I didn't check Trivago.
Check Trivago to compare prices and save up to 40%. Hotel? Trivago.
Mirrors the actual society out there. We have religion, we have schools, we have drugs, we have sex, we have all types of vices. And I tell you, I wouldn't want to work in a prison that didn't have some vices in it. And sometimes those things keep them busy. That keeps them out of our hair. Now, there again, I don't condone it. And if we catch them, we'll punish them. But I know it goes on, and it probably does have some element of helping us keep control.
The more shit, like coffee and cigarettes, things like of that nature that I got, the more I wanted. The more boys that I picked up, the more I wanted. Um, it was like it became a challenge to see a pretty little young boy come in and everybody shooting at him, everybody trying to get him, everybody trying to pull him in. So it became a challenge. It made my dick hard to chase him, to see if I could get him before anyone else.
I met Mark on the chain gang.
So Mark was playing booty games inside a prison, trying to see if he can be the first one to get this dude's attention before everybody else.
I would say it was in '98. I wouldn't talk to him for the first couple of days because I was too scared. But then after that, I kind of loosened up a little bit, and I got high with him. He was running a store, and I had a person I was looking out for as far as loaning him stuff. So I'd go to Mark and get stuff and loan it out for a money order or whatever, and just pay Mark off. So that's how we got acquainted, was just through business.
He came to me, Mindy came to me and requested to be with me. You know what I'm saying? Which was rather strange because this was like the first guy that ever pulled up on me and said, "Hey man, can I be with you?" So it was rather shocking.
So we ended up doing a
Yeah, so we'll stop this one right here. Now we're gonna move into a little more current situation with Mark. Still waiting for some viewers to come into play. Um, let's see. Let me try to pull up the more current when he came out.
or of the situation that I'm about to discuss. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, and let it be known, the truth, let the truth be known about what really happened and what really was meant to be. What was meant to be was totally not what happened.
We had sex together, and we fought together, and we was there for each other.
The relationship that we shared was really like the relationship I had with my child's mother. I mean, we were so compatible. You know what I'm saying? We had so much in common. We developed great feelings for one another. He was like my shadow. Everywhere you seen me, you seen him. We were best friends. It wasn't the relationship wasn't based on sex. Me fucking him in his ass. It was more than that. You know what I'm saying? I cared deeply about it. And I was inspired from watching a guy on YouTube, the Dante Show.
So right here, this is the same person, Lamark Moore. He came out 2024 on the Dante Show. He wanted to clear his name of the allegations from the previous video that he had done in prison.
Watching his shows inspired me to talk about my story. Because like I say, and I'm mad enough to admit that I did not have the courage or the knowledge of how to go about in doing this. You know what I mean? But watching the Dante Show inspired me, and I was like, you know what, man? You made your bed, you got to lie in it. You know what I mean? But in order for you to feel some type of peace and to kind of resolve the situation within myself, you need to let it be known what really happened, what was really intended. Okay, and like I say, watching the Dante Show really inspired me. I rock with you, Dante. Real talk, bro. I love your show. I watch it every day. I also watch other YouTubers, but it's something about the Dante Show. It's like, you know what? I need to reach out to him and put my story out there. Okay. So, as a lot of y'all may know about the documentary called Turned Out, Sexual Assault Behind Bars in Alabama. Okay. That documentary was done in 2001. I'm him. Well, one of the guys. The other guy, he is no longer here with us. He passed away. You know, it is what it is. May he rest in peace. I'm still here. And I would like to tell my story about the story that a lot of people in the world have seen. They've made their own judgments on it. I've read the comments and, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and whatever. You know what I mean? Hey, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But that documentary was not, they edited a lot of stuff. They capped out some stuff. They ran some stuff in with each other. It was not like that. It's not like that. Like I say, the name of the video is Turned Out Sexual Assault Behind Bars. Now, sexual assault does go on behind bars. All types of stuff go on behind bars. If you've been there, then you know it's a crazy, twisted, warped world.
So now he's saying sexual assault does go on behind bars in the prison, but now he's saying that he wasn't a part of the sexual assault, but he did the documentary of what was going on behind bars, but now he's saying that he wasn't involved. Okay.
It's a world within itself. You know what I mean? But I just felt the need that I need to tell my story of the events that were in that documentary. Everything was not true.
What if your website's success was only limited by one single thing?
All right, so we commercials and everything, and he's saying that everything wasn't true while he's sitting there popping his lips and stuff.
Privacy regulations. Details matter. Imagine if the Egyptians had run it.
Everything was not true. Some of it, yes, but most of it, no. I was introduced to these people. They were from Camden, New Jersey, Boston, Massachusetts, somewhere in Massachusetts, something like that. But the name of the company was Issues and Incarcerations, Interlock Media. The director's name was Jonathan Schwartz. Okay. So you got to look at it from my shoes. You know, try standing in my shoes. I've been locked up for a while. These people come down because my friend, some type of way, he was tied in with them, and he said, I know someone that could give y'all some knowledge of things that go on in prison. Okay, so they went to the commissioner of the prison system in Alabama and got permission to come into the prisons and film. So the warden of any prison couldn't stop it because the commissioner had already approved it. Okay. Because if any of y'all know, you can't just, come up to a prison and say, oh, we want to film about your prison or we want to film prisoners. No, they can't. That's not possible. They have to have permission. You know what I mean?
So they had to have permission to come in and speak directly to Lamark Moore about issues that were going on inside of the prison. Now, why would they, out of all the prisoners, single out Lamark Moore? I don't know. Let's find out.
So they come to the prison. Well, they actually did. They did it in two prisons because I got in some trouble at the first prison where they were filming at, and I got transferred to another prison, and they got permission to come to that prison to finish up the documentary. Okay. Like I said, the documentary was solely based on trying to educate and teach people about prison life. But that's not the way they edited it to be. They made me out to look like I was some type of animal or some type of monster, and I'm not. That's not me. I'm not no animal. I'm not a monster. I'm not a bad person. Yeah, I've done some bad things in my life. I've made some mistakes, but I'm not an animal. So they come to the prison and man, listen, when I say, when you've been locked up, man, you only see the female officers, which, some look pretty decent, but this man comes.
If you've been locked up for 20 years and you see a female officer, I think it doesn't matter if they look pretty decent or not. You're gonna be interested. But he's saying that they weren't looking good enough for him to have any interest in them. So when these producers came in with these females, that's what piqued his interest.
And he has a whole crew. It was like 8 of them, and it was like him and it was one other guy. All the rest were females, and they were beautiful. They bringing me free world food. Like, what do you want to eat? Whatever I said I wanted to eat. They weren't gonna bring no drugs or no alcohol or no weapons or nothing. But food, yeah, they could. So, and then the women, they were giving me so much flirty type attention. I was like, I almost lost my mind. Like, bro, I hadn't been around a woman in like 12 years at that time. You know what I mean? So I mean, that shit just kind of went to my head, man. You know what I mean? Then the food, because everybody know prison food sucks. So them bringing me that free world food, and well, that's what we call in prison, free world food. Those who've been in prison understand that term. Those who haven't, yeah, you might be like, what do you mean free world food? But yeah, okay. So they bring me that food, women all bubbly and flirty and just this, that, and into me. So when we started the documentary, I guess and really biting the fact that they was expecting. So they kind of pushed me into things to say and this and that. And I like the I done it, it's like the more comfortable I became. So I just went to just throwing stuff out there and adding stuff and just, what I'm saying, hyping it up, this, that, and the third, like, and that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. And me, I was young. Like I said, I had been locked up. So they, eating that garbage for that many years and, not being around no pretty women, like being, like, because you can't be all up on the female guards and, talking to them like, a personal type, area like that. So, that kind all that stuff was like, man, it just blowed my mind back. Like, I was like excited and happy and just all over the place. You know what I mean? Because I hadn't had this in so long. And all the time I was not knowing that their intentions were to get this video from me and exploit me and to make me look like some type of predator. They were nice, they were respectful. They seemed like great people. And that's how I looked at them. That's how I took them. But the whole time they had um other ideas. And me, like I said, me being young, naive, not really knowing the severity of what I was doing and saying, and then they had me sign some type release papers or something. I can't even remember. It's been so long, but like I say, that was 23 years ago. You know what I mean? So they put the video out. Okay, I finally get out of prison, like um, 2001. I think I got out of prison like 8 or 9 years later. Okay, life was good, everything was good, and ran across the video on YouTube. I was like, oh, okay, that's the video I did. So, oh yeah, I'm excited. I want to watch it. But when I watched it, it was not nearly. I'm like, what? And man, the more I watched, the more furious I got because I'm like, wait a minute. They man, listen. I don't know how they did it or how you would even go about doing that. You know what I mean? But I'm sure they know because this is what they do. They know how to edit. They know how to piece stuff and it cut out stuff and put this piece with that piece and you know what I mean.
So he's saying that they came in, they filmed him speaking about what goes on behind the prison walls. All of these words came out of his mouth. And now he's saying that they pieced together, they edited this, they did that to make him seem like some type of monster. Okay.
Me and man, I could not believe what I watched. I'm like, oh my God. So then I'm thinking like, okay, well, maybe no one will see it. Wrong. A lot of people seen it. A lot of people seen it. I even met a woman. I'm not gonna call her name because God knows that woman was so good to me.
Keep in mind, he's not going to call her name, but he's calling everybody name these days.
She was so good to me. She was from Colorado. She wrote me a letter. Read it. And she explains to me that she had seen the documentary and she didn't think it was real. She didn't think I was real. She wanted to, see if that was really me, if I was a real person, whatever. Okay.
Okay, so that was when he came out a couple of months ago. So now we're getting into more current events. Hi, everybody. I'm Angel. I'm glad that you could join me tonight. Um, I'd like for you to like this video, comment, and subscribe to my channel if it's not too much to ask. Um, I had a chance to communicate with Mr. Mark Moore, and we started a dialogue and we started conversating over the phone. So we had been speaking for a little while, and then things kind of went left. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to play you our first actual encounter over the internet. Give me a moment.
Everybody come come through. We're gonna talk about the events that are taking place with the infamous Mark. The I don't give a fuck about nobody else but myself more. That's what we going. Like I don't agree with him sending her those pictures. Speak your piece, Miss Angel. Everybody subscribe to Miss Angel because she got a lot to say. She got a lot to say. At Angels, please.
This is my first encounter with Lamark Moore, and it's playing on June 5th channel.
Comments so y'all can subscribe to Miss Angel because we don't do silence. Yeah, Miss T say, I remember when she was up there. So you know, Miss T. So you know that. So you know. Hold on. Angels, please. Hold on. Let me put the right. Angels, please. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into that too, King J. We're going to get into that too, King J. We're going to get into that too, King J. Because Mark Moore want to tell on himself. Mark Moore want to say things that he shouldn't say. So we're going to get into what you saying, King J. But let's get into what Miss T saying right now. Because I like what Miss T saying. That just made me think of something. That just made me think of something, Miss T. So remember when Mark tried to say, oh, no, I didn't lead her on. I wasn't making her, I wasn't making her think that it could be this and it could. Remember that? Oh, y'all remember that? That's wrong to do. That's wrong to do. Lie to a woman to get in her pants. And then when you can't get in her pants, you bash her. That's not cool, gang. That's not cool. I would not want somebody to do that to my woman. I would not want somebody to do that to my daughter. I would not someone do that to my mother, gang. My grandmother. But this not just women. Mark do this too. He do this to everyone. Everyone. Right now, we have this woman's testimony. We have this woman's testimony. Yes. Oh, yes. He sent them pictures to that woman. Yes. Multiple times. Multiple pictures. Yes. But claims that's not his type. Claims that's not his type. How's she not your type, but you sending her pictures with possible toys? That gotta be your type. Because I don't send pictures. I don't even send pictures to my woman, let alone a woman that's not my woman. Why do you need a picture? We can link. You're going to see everything you need to see in person. No picture. So that proves deviancy.
Let me fast forward a little bit.
About me and Mark's situation, us are like, you don't know none of that. Choose to hold that information. I'm making
That's
the
Mark
choice to
now,
hold
and
that
that's me.
information. But if stories like this come out, of course I'm a host, a journalist. I'm gonna help this woman out. She deserves it. She's a good woman. What's wrong with that? What y'all really should want to know is that 20-year-old. What's up with that? Because Miss Angel, yeah, fuck Mindy. Miss Angel got more to say about Mark. So what you gonna say then? What you gonna say when Miss Angel disclose more information on Mark? What you gonna say when there's other stories that's about to drop? This just the first story that's dropping. This is the first person. It's more deviancy coming up. Then what you gonna say? Oh, I'm bugging?
Fast forward a little bit.
What? What is that a sign of? What is that a sign of, gang? Cause I don't send niggas nothing about my girl, son. Nothing about my girl.
All right, people, let's get down to the business at hand. So, what I did was I introduced you to Lamark Moore for everybody that didn't know who he was. He's the famous person from the Turned Out in Prison, Alabama story. Okay, then I went into when he wanted to come back out and clear his name and say that everything that he said in prison was not facts. Okay, then I went on to show you our first encounter over the internet where we spoke to one another. So, where we are today is that Mark and I had fell out because I came to the conclusion that he was also dating someone else online, that he had a 20 something year old lady that he was dating. Okay, that's cool. My problem with the whole situation was Mark did not communicate with me that he was involved with someone else. He said that he thought that we were just friends and this, that, and the third. Okay, but he invited me to Alabama. He invited me to spend the night with him, and he wanted something more if I did come. Now, I had been texting him and still calling him, and I would hear him on his live speaking about this young lady. So I asked him, plain and clear, who was she? He said that it was just a made up person for the internet. He didn't want people to know who he was actually dating because he didn't want people to bash the person that he was actually dating. I believed him. To further, he kept going online speaking about this 20 something year old lady. And then he put her on speakerphone and I actually heard her voice. So that's when I realized that this was not just some type of made up person. This was someone who he was actually involved with. So, being that I know Dante, I came out and I told my story to Dante on the Dante Show Network with June 5th. Mark blatantly denied everything that I was saying, and he made it seem as though I was delusional, which I wasn't. We showed proof of everything that I'm saying. I didn't want to show proof, but when you have someone calling you a liar, then you go ahead and you show proof to prove that you're not a liar. To fast forward, he got so upset that he called me out of my name on the internet. He called me the B word. Okay, whatever. We were having differences. Everything wasn't cool. He said that we were just friends, so I don't know why he couldn't just be honest. And then you want to go and call me out of my name. Okay, so I felt I deserved an apology. I tried to get the apology from him. He didn't want to apologize. Okay, cool. So when we got up on a panel on the Dante Show Network, I turned around and I got off a bunch of words that I wanted to say to him, and I knew he couldn't run from it. Okay, so things went left, and we were at full war. Okay, eventually I was able to get on one of his lives because he said his girlfriend wanted to know why was I in the chat. I got on the live and we had a conversation. He apologized to me. I apologized to him. I thought that was the end of it. The following day, he made a whole live ranting and raving again, calling me out of my name again, this, that, and the third. We got on another live and we discussed it. He came into the live, we discussed it again. I said to him, I thought everything was over and done with. Why are you doing a live bashing me once again when we had already cleared up everything? Okay, we had a discussion that night. It was a couple of nights ago. We had another discussion on live a couple of nights ago. And he said, okay, he's going to leave it alone because it was supposed to be a dead issue. Now, I thought we left it alone again, turn around again, and the last couple of days, Mark has had my name in his mouth consistently. So here I am now, wanting to address the situation once again. I would really like to know, what is it about me, Mark, that you just can't leave me alone? My name is always in your mouth. You are always bringing me up. You're always talking about me. So is it really I can't leave you alone, or is it that you can't leave me alone? I know you missed out on a good one. That's exactly what it was. I understand. But please, please, all of the name calling and swearing and this, that, and the other that you're doing is really unnecessary. Okay? I have not thought about you. I thought we were good. I thought everything was okay. I thought we squashed the situation. I've been going on with my life. I've been okay. I have people that I conversate with, and you aren't one of them. And that's fine with me. But you have been on my back, on my neck, and your lies. Just be honest. You miss me, huh? I know. You miss me. Just be honest with yourself. That's why you can't keep my name out of your mouth. So that's what I wanted to address today. Now, you're still calling me names. You're still saying all type of things about me. I don't know what you want. You're talking about the text that I sent to you where I said, yeah, you showed me a video of you, your nakedness and everything. That was fine. And then you asked me, would I ride it? And I said, I would ride it like a cowgirl. That was just some little telephone, little telephone play, you know? But you keep bringing that point up. You want the whole world to know that I said to you that I would ride it like a cowgirl. And what is the point? You're a grown man. Why are you constantly bringing up that specific text? I know you want me to ride it like a cowgirl. I know that's what it is. That's what it is, Mark. You want me to ride it like a cowgirl. And you missed out on that opportunity. But nevertheless, you keep going on and on and on. You know, my thing is, hey, if you want, you can keep talking about me. It's cool. I'm okay with it. But you don't have to call me out of my name. You don't have to call me out of my name. You want to keep talking about me, that's fine. Because obviously it makes your day. And I'm glad that I'm on someone's mind. I'm glad that I am truly on someone's mind. That you just can't get enough of me and my name. And that's fine. I understand. I understand. You know, you know, you know. But in the meantime, I would appreciate it if you stop calling me all type of bees, all type of whores, this, that, and the third, because that really isn't necessary. There is no need for such vulgar language in the same sentence with my name. There's no need for all of that. There is no need. So, with that being said, to all of the people out there in the YouTube world, um, I would like you to subscribe to my channel. It's Angel's Place. I do reaction videos to some real subjects. I talk about some real situations. Um, if you like, and you feel generous enough, you can donate to my Cash App. It's right here. It's the $ BLES 147. I would truly appreciate it. And Mark, I wish you the best. I've moved on, and I thought you had to. I mean, seriously, I thought you had moved on. But, you know, hey, I'm all smiles. I'm glad you think about me. You can't stop thinking about me, obviously. Obviously, you can't stop thinking about me. But like I said, I've moved on. So, you kind of aren't on my mind. So, with that being said, to all the viewers out there, welcome to Angel's Place. I'm glad that you could join me. And until next time, have a good night.